up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a quick one. So I got a customer in 2023 or 2024 Raptor 700, whatever the dark blue, light blue setup is. So we got the Power Commander 6 on. I think they actually changed the harness. So this harness is actually a little bit longer, and I found that it was actually better just to wrap it along the intake and keep it above everything. But now we're going to do the RP exhaust. So got it out of the bag, and there's machine oil or whatever you want to call it on there to keep it from corroding. So before we even put it on the bike, we're going to go ahead and get a cloth towel and some alcohol or whatever you want to use, maybe brake cleaner, whatever doesn't leave a residue, and we're going to clean it, and then we're going to install it, and once we install it, we're going to clean it again. So I always see people that you can see their fingerprints in the pipe and all, and once it's kind of burnt in the pipe, you can't really get rid of it without polishing the pipe again. So let's take the extra 2 minutes and wipe it down 2 or 3 times before we do the first startup. That way the customer will have a good even color on the exhaust as it burns in. Other thing, we did the fuel customs intake. So we went with what Cuervo Racing does. So this one goes to the throttle body. The bottom one goes to your vent. Uses stock line, so we didn't bend or cut any lines on that. We did the AIS delete, so AIS is blocked, plate in the front of the motor, good to go there. And then this customer also did the ready to ride maintenance package. So you know, we got his cables, all of his cables, his clutch. We're gonna adjust and lube the chain here in just a second. Grease all the A-arms. We did the tire pressure front and back. So yeah, we'll roll it outside when we're done with the exhaust and wash the chain off, and then lube it up before we give it a little bit of a test ride. And this customer went with the Shorty. So I'll enter a clip of ours, what it kind of sounds like revving up. And then once we get his warm and double check his oil level, we'll give it a rev also and just see what the comparison is between the two. And we're going to go ahead, the battery tray, or the electronics tray is loose from the airbox install. So we definitely want to put those screws back in. Definitely want to put those screws back in before the exhaust is on, or else it's going to block it. We did the Cerakote on this one, so the muffler is actually black, but we are going to wipe off the front part just in case there's any machine oil on that. See how all this lines up. Maybe we put the muffler in first. Alright, that was much easier. So just put that in, and then we'll twist this and make sure that it lines up. Alright, so we got the muffler on there loose. Now we're gonna make sure the front and try to get as much clearance as we can around like the frame and stuff. Usually the RP is a little bit tight, but let's try to at least get it situated on there. So we're gonna go ahead and torque down the head pipe because everything is on. Alright, so head pipe is torqued down. We're going to give the exhaust another wiggle and make sure everything's where it needs to be. Alright, so not hitting the frame or anything, so we're going to go ahead and torque down the muffler now. Both of those bolts are even. Alright, that's torqued down, and RP uses exhaust springs. Keep everything pulled together. Y'all watched me do this last time, and I'm pretty sure I did the same thing. Ow. I think last time I went and grabbed my tool. It has a little bit more bite on it. We might be grabbing my tool again because this is just an odd angle. Yeah, this thing's a pain in the butt. Alright, got it on there. I just had to hold the end of the tool so it didn't spin, because as soon as it spins, it lets the spring go. pipe one on. Alan's got some tension on it. Alright, first try on that one. So, give us just a couple minutes. I'll get the air filter on, get the tank on, and then we'll test it with all the plastics off. We got our 4Works regular flow filter, and then we got our 4Works outerwear we're going to put on. Alright, so I usually pull it right to the edge and then leave it until you get the clamp on there, and then I'll pull it over after that. Alright, so clamp is on, and then we can pull our outerwear over the filter.
No. So if we take 1130 divide it by 3, it's $377 per couple. It's not bad.
Far cheaper than birthday cabin.
Then what?
Than my birthday cabin. That place was pretty ballin' though, I'm saying.
I just really like the shower.
Me too, I burnt my hand in there. Did you plug everything back in? Well, it starts. That's a good thing. Because the program is telling it what to do now, so that means all that stuff works, which is good. Staying busy. We got a Razor turbo in for a couple radiators. Some of the brackets had actually been up into the radiator, which is unfortunate right there, and up a little bit further and actually poked a hole in it, so it's leaking. So we got to dig those radiators out. But the 23 or 4 Raptor is back. So we did a full bolt on using the RP Shorty FCI intake, Power Commander 6 on it, and he enjoyed it for a couple months, and now he's back for a little bit more power. So a little bit more power, the obvious choice was to go ahead and drop a hot cam stage 3 in it. We got our new valve lash specs right here. Engine's cold. I made sure he didn't start it. So yeah, we're gonna take the plastics off, go ahead and drop in a new cam, do the Cuervo tune. I'm telling y'all, if y'all need any tunes for your Raptors, any setup, just go ahead and send him an email. And I have been really happy with mine, and I know this customer's been enjoying his for the last 2 or 3 months. So yeah, once we get the cam installed, I'll go ahead and give you a old clip that I have, kind of revving it up a little bit, and then I'll give you the new clip with the stage 3 cam, and I bet you'll be able to hear the difference in the camshaft. So after 6,000 RPM, it picks up a lot of power. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the plastics off and get this thing dropped in. I did see his air filter. Just make sure if you have a paper air filter or a foam air filter, even though it looks clean because the outerwear's on there, you need to go ahead and just take it off just a little bit, and you can see that if you can see the dust flying everywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and clean it, oil his air filter also while it's here. Alright, so we take a flashlight and shine it down in here. There is the slightest film of dirt, so make sure you're cleaning your air filters. It's not too bad, but you can tell that dirt was definitely starting to get in, and it only would have got worse. So I'll try to clean it out with a rag the best I can. But yeah, you gotta keep your air filters clean and oiled. So underneath the outerwear, you can see that it is pretty toast. So this is just a K&N kit. You can get this from any automotive store. K&N lost their patent a long time ago, so you can get whatever cleaner you want for a paper style or a K&N style filter off of eBay, and I'm sure it'll probably work just as good. The main thing is doing it. So every ride, at least look at it. I like to go ahead and clean it even if it doesn't look dirty. It only takes 5-10 minutes, and I mean, it'll keep your air filter better. Like, you can use your air filters longer if they don't sit with dirt in them. Alright, so we got to speed through this clip just because I did have music on in the background. Customer is waiting, and I work faster with music. It is what it is. So we're just taking the tank off just to get the clearance for the top of the valve cover caps. That way we can completely change our valve lash. If you haven't installed a stage 3 cam before, it's nowhere near stock. So I think the exhaust will be a little bit tight, intake will be super loose, something like that. And you definitely have to pay attention whenever you adjust the valves. So just getting the motor to top dead center, and that way we can pop off these 10mm bolts and work our cam out. I did not fully remove the decompression mechanism while the cam was still in the motor this time, and it slid straight out. So nothing like my 21 build whenever I did that one, and I had pulled the decomp center core out, at least like the part that spins, and the pin dropped, and I messed with it for probably an hour. It was, yeah. So this was much easier. I did break the bolts loose, but I left them in there, and yeah, went pretty smooth until the camera died. So this is the camera dead. But let's get some sound clips, and let's see if you can hear the difference between stock, full exhaust, and then a little bit of cam action. What do y'all think? I can hear the difference. I do it every day, but I think you can probably hear the difference also. So the third clip, if you really listen, it does have a little bit of a kind of different tone at idle. It's kind of hard to hear, but whenever you rev it, you can tell as soon as it gets about 5,000, 4,500 RPM, it revs completely different machine. So it revs more like a 450 than anything. So you talk about torque, you talk about 50 plus horsepower with not a whole lot of work to them. And Raptors have a lot of power to be had for not a whole lot of money. So this customer is still happy with the setup. I think we might be getting it back for long travel suspension. I'm sure he's really going to look forward to that. Get the Raptor closer to the ground, get it wider, get long travel in the front, get a Hess linkage in the back. That way, everything sits right. And to me, it completely eliminated the tippiness that the Raptor has. But that's going to do it for this video. If you got any questions, feel free to leave a comment, hit us up on Instagram, and I'll catch you in the next one.